Okay, I think we'll get started. It's just after 12 o'clock now. Welcome to this session, Choose Your Major, Exploring Majors at UCalgary. My name is Deirdre Mooney, and with me is my colleague, Karen Quinn. We are both academic advisors for exploratory students in the Student Success Center. We are recording this session so that you can go back and view it on the open house platform at a later date if you choose. Please feel free to post any questions in the chat in Zoom as we go, and keep in mind that your question may be answered in upcoming slides. And we'll definitely take some time at the end of the presentation to answer any additional questions that you might have. So the main aim of today's session is to increase your confidence in decision-making when choosing a degree program. In order to do that, we're going to walk you through a case study of how a student would use the tools of exploration to help make a more informed choice about which degree program to study. Our hope then is that you'll be able to apply those same tools to your own exploration so that you can make an informed choice about your degree program, about which degree program you'd like to apply for. And please note that you will not leave this session today knowing which major to choose, because that would be really unrealistic in such a short presentation. Making a choice about which degree program to study will take a process of exploration, and it is something that you have to do for yourself. But we will walk you through how to do that today. There is a workbook that goes with the session. I believe it's posted in the chat and Zoom, and Karen will continue to post it throughout the session. The workbook is also available in the resource section of the main VFAIRS platform. You can also find it at the Student Success Center booth in the exhibit hall. So you're welcome to download it there, or if you can access it, to download from Zoom. The workbook is your toolkit for choosing a major or degree program, and we are going to reference it as we go through the presentation. So please make sure that you have downloaded it and you have it with you so that you can follow along. Again, it is also available in the resources tab of the main platform, and it's also available at the Student Success Center booth in the main exhibitor hall. Whoops, sorry about that. There we go. So this decision-making model, the process is on page 1 of the workbook. As mentioned, exploration is a process. That means there are steps to be taken. And once we determine that there is a decision to be made, we can't immediately jump to deciding and taking action. Instead, we have to reflect on what it is we really want, gather some information, and then critically review and prioritize our options. From there, we can decide and then take action. When it comes to using the exploration process model for determining which degree program to apply for, we'll want to reflect on our motivators, personality traits, interests, and academics, and then gather information about various degree programs and careers to give us some options. Then we'll review and prioritize those degree program options. Finally, when we have decided, we'll submit our application online through Apply Alberta. So on pages 3 and 4 of the workbook, we've put together a case study student to really help illustrate this exploration process. So please use this guide to follow along as we move through the case study. And note that the rest of your workbook includes the activities in blank for you to complete that our case study student would have completed. So to begin our case study, we'll introduce you to Sam. Sam is a grade 12 student in Calgary, and here are some key things to know. Sam talks to friends about their problems. Sam's dad is a teacher. Sam's interested in environmental issues and conservation. Sam likes spending time outdoors with others. Sam's mom is an accountant, and Sam's best friend wants to be an architect. The first stage of the exploration process is to reflect and connect. This stage is incredibly important, but is often overlooked. This stage allows students to really consider who they are and what they want. When doing your own reflection, remember to be honest and thoughtful. You'll get as much out of it as you're willing to put in. And really, if you do follow your gut instincts, you will find answers. So again, on pages 3 to 4 of the workbook here, we'll go through these main stages of reflection. So Sam will start the reflection process by considering these questions here. These help Sam determine what is motivating them to go to university. So Sam has determined that their top motivator is really learning and interest. Sam's determined that, here's what Sam has determined about the things that motivate them. Sam is motivated by family to go to university, is looking for diversity in subject areas, but is also looking for a degree program that would lead to an interesting job. Sam wants to be excited about the courses within a degree program and is looking forward to meeting people, trying new things, and getting involved. Next, Sam explores personality traits by taking the personality mosaic to determine, taking the personality mosaic to determine their Holland codes. The Holland codes are a way of categorizing people's personality traits. They can be very helpful when exploring degree or career options because degrees and careers generally align with these traits as well as people do. And the more closely Sam's personality traits align with the degree program, the more satisfaction Sam will get out of it. The 6 Holland codes are listed on the slide here, and you have a copy of the personality mosaic in your workbook, so you can determine your own codes later. After completing the personality mosaic, Sam determines that investigative, realistic, and social are their top personality traits. It's okay to identify with some characteristics of the personality code and not with others. When gathering information about specific degree programs, Sam can look for these traits and characteristics to help find a fit. And in your workbook, we've included a list of UCalgary degrees categorized by these personality traits. You can use that list to see how your top traits align with our programs. And it's okay, of course, to choose a program that does not match your personality traits. Remember, this is just one tool to help you become more informed. Next, Sam reflects on interests, thinking specifically about the things they are interested in personally, occupationally, and academically. Sam will consider these questions and consider some examples where personal interests may not align with academic or occupational interests. I think that one is really important to think about here. We often tell students that they have to pick a degree program or a career pathway based on something they're super passionate about, but often we develop those passions through going to school and testing out careers. And our personal interests don't necessarily have to align with our occupation and academic interests. So for me specifically, I have a really deep interest in space and understanding the cosmos, but the reality is that I actually don't understand a lot of it. And so instead of pursuing something like an astrophysics degree, I can really feed that personal interest by watching documentaries instead. So that one will stay of personal interest and not be an academic or occupational interest for me. Here's what Sam determined through reflection. Personally, Sam is interested in improving the environment, figuring out how society works, helping others, and talking with people. Occupationally, Sam is looking for a good, interesting, and varied job, and the chance to travel and work outside. Academically, while Sam feels that English is taught really well, they connect more with the content of social studies. Sam also really enjoys biology, but finds that math can be a bit of a struggle. Next, Sam considers where they are academically successful and where they have challenges, again, by thinking about these questions. But here we encourage you to think a little bit more critically about these questions. So go beyond just listing favorite subjects or assignments to really consider what it is specifically about them that makes them easy or enjoyable. And in terms of challenges, really consider what is an actual barrier to being academically successful versus something that could actually be overcome with a bit more support. So Sam does well with written work and excels when working with others. Conversely, studying languages is challenging for Sam, as is working independently. Sam really enjoys opportunities to bounce ideas off others, get feedback, and support others' abilities. In terms of grades, Sam has already completed 2 30-level or grade 12 level courses and is currently taking 3 more: Social Studies 30-1, Chemistry 30, and Math 30-1. Overall, Sam's average is 84.2. This is important to keep in mind when considering degree program options. For more information on courses and averages required for admission into programs, please visit the admissions office booth in the exhibitor hall. And remember that they are also offering webinars on how to apply throughout the whole day. All right, so now that we've completed the reflection stage and we know a lot more about ourselves, we can start to explore resources that help us learn more about our degree programs. The key in this stage is to continually remember our motivators, personality traits, interests, and academics, because they will influence how we explore the resources by guiding what it is that we're looking for. And so as we go through the resources that Sam used to gather information, please continue to follow along with the case study on pages 3 to 4 in the workbook. And all of the resources we're going to touch on today are provided in the workbook for you to use later. So Sam begins gathering information about degree programs by going to UCalgary's Future Students website, clicks on undergraduate, then explore programs. There are roughly 108 majors offered at the University of Calgary, so it's really no wonder that Sam is unsure about which program they'd like to pursue. So Sam can use the Explore Programs website to search by faculty to see degree programs and majors, and that will help manage that list. So rather than looking at all 108 potential options, we can search by faculty to kind of whittle it down a little bit more. And then as Sam scrolls through, they'll click on ones that sound interesting and maybe skip over ones that don't appeal or jump out. when Sam clicks on a program, they'll see a page that looks like this. And Sam will have to keep track of the degree program majors of interest separately. So that isn't provided in the workbook, but maybe setting up a spreadsheet or a chart or even just a list, recording information will really be important to help with the evaluation stage. So Sam can choose greatest interest degree programs based on the description of the degree, the inquiry questions provided, and the courses indicated in each program. Sam can also use the quote on this website about each program to gain an insider's perspective. And Sam should use this website to understand more about each program, but then also use some additional resources to judge the program based on courses and career opportunities. Ideally, Sam can narrow the search by specifically focusing on 5 degree programs of greatest interest. And note that by clicking into each of these degree programs on the Explore Programs website, Sam can also see the admission requirements. Next, Sam wants to figure out which courses are offered in each of the 5 degree programs selected. This will help Sam gain a better understanding of what will be studied, which will help Sam determine if these degree programs match their motivators, personality traits, interests, and academics. To do this, Sam goes to the first year degree guide, which provides a list of the 10 courses a first-year student in any major or degree program would want to register in. Sam chooses Faculty of Science from the Faculties menu to look at the first-year courses for the Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science. One of the things that interests Sam in environmental science is that students must also choose a concentration area. Sam feels that the geography concentration in environmental science might be a good way to ensure the degree covers a diverse range of subjects. And so by scrolling down to the geography concentration list, Sam can see what a first-year course list for this degree program would look like and see some course selection tips and recommendations. By clicking on Economics 201, for example, or other linked courses, Sam can read a course description to find out what topics are actually studied in Economics 201. And notice that Sam can also click the Open Options link, which provides a list of other courses Sam might be interested in. And on that top right-hand side, Sam can also click on the link to see the recommended 4-year sequence to get a better sense of the entire program. And notice the recommended courses might look a little bit different when you're scrolling through each of these programs, depending on which faculty or program you select. Another key component to consider is how our degrees are structured. All degree programs have a specific structure. And when looking at programs, the degree structure can help you determine whether the program has enough courses in it that you like, and if it has room for options to explore other areas of interest. Or in some cases, the degree may be very structured and have fewer options, which could actually be very appealing for anyone looking for more structure. Because the major is the majority of a degree program, when considering programs, determine whether the major has enough courses to keep you interested. Students do also have the opportunity to add a minor into their studies in their 2nd or 3rd year. This is not a requirement, however. A minor would be 10 to 12 courses in a subject area that's different from the major, and it would come out of the option side of the degree. So some students choose to do a minor to help consolidate those options and give them a little bit more structure. And what we're seeing in these 2 charts here is sort of a basic overview. If a degree program is 40 courses or 120 units, we're seeing the ratio between the major and the options. Our 14 to 26 ratio, those are degree programs that are really the most flexible, so lots of option space within them. 24 to 16 are kind of the majority of our degree programs, and then that 38 to 2 is engineering specifically, so not a lot of options in that particular program. Sam uses the academic calendar, which is also in your workbook, to look at how the 5 degree programs they've selected are structured, and discovers that Faculty of Arts degree programs are typically more flexible than Faculty of Science programs because there are generally more options built into them. So this means that Sam might be able to study more areas of interest if they choose a program within the Faculty of Arts. Sam may even consider a double major or a combined degree as a way of building a program that incorporates more of their interests. A double major is a regular 4-year degree program at 40 courses or 120 units, where the majority of courses are split between 2 separate fields of study. Depending on how many courses are required for each major, a student may not have many option courses available to them in that program. In completing a double major, students receive only 1 degree. So the majors do have to come from the same degree type. For example, a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. A combined degree is an approved 5-year degree program at 50 courses or 150 units, where a student completes the requirements again of 2 majors, but still has some additional room for option courses. And again, that ratio is really dependent on how many courses are required for each of the 2 majors. In completing a combined degree, students receive 2 separate degrees, which can be the same, but are typically different degree types and often from different faculties. Okay. Sam indicated that career or occupational interests is also a motivator for choosing a degree program. Sam wants a good job, but also wants to be excited by the courses taken within their degree program. So Sam can use UCalgary's Career Services Degree Profiles website to explore potential jobs and industries that align with the 5 programs they've selected. On this website, Sam can click on any faculty and then on any major offered by the faculty to see a list of potential jobs and industries that our alumni with that degree have gone on to do. The website also gives Sam a list of key skills and knowledge gained through studying the degree program. And what Sam really likes about the website is that it provides a list of associations connected with each field of study. And that really provides an extra resource for Sam to investigate specific careers more directly. Okay, so Sam has now completed a few activities to reflect on who they are and what they really want. Sam has also used some helpful UCalgary resources to gather more information about degree programs. And all of this work helped Sam narrow the many degree program choices to 5 of interest, which is really a manageable number to collect information about and to evaluate. So the next stage of Sam's exploration process is to take all that reflection and degree program information and evaluate the options by prioritizing what is most important or interesting. And this will help Sam determine which of the 5 degree programs selected most aligns with their motivators, personality traits, interests, academics, and career aspirations. Now Sam needs to evaluate the options and make a decision. But in order to do that, we need your help. So we're going to ask you to please assume the role of Sam and review Sam's reflections and the information gathered about the 5-degree programs selected. Are there any trends? What can be prioritized and what can be eliminated? From there, which 2-degree programs will Sam choose? It's time for you to decide. There are no wrong answers. It's really just using the information that you have available to make the best choice that you can. So again, on pages 3 and 4 of the workbook, we see those reflection and information pieces of the case study. And then on page 5 is where you would answer these questions. So we are going to get you to make that choice for Sam. So these are the 5 programs that Sam is thinking about. And I'll launch a poll in Zoom that you should be able to see in Zoom over top of these slides. 2 questions. So what is Sam's 1st-degree program choice? And then second question, what is Sam's 2nd-degree program choice? So please review pages 3 and 4 of the workbook, have a think about it, and select which 2 programs you think Sam would apply for based on their reflection and their information gathering. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Okay, this is looking really good. We've got a lot of people participating so far, putting in their choices. Keep going, take a few minutes, review page 3 and 4. What do you think Sam is going to apply for? Okay, just another minute there to put your last minute votes in. Okay, great. Thank you for participating. So what we're seeing, lots of you have chosen Bachelor of Science Environmental Science with geography concentration as the first choice. And then for the second choice, we've got a bit more of a spread, but it looks like environmental science as the second choice, or urban studies are tied as the top second choice. Awesome. Thanks so much for participating in that. Yeah, here's what we came up with. First choice, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science with the geography concentration, and a second choice in urban studies. And we just threw in that maybe Sam is also considering adding a biological science minor later. But really remember that these choices are only one interpretation of all the reflection and information gathered by the student. So you may have chosen different options, but that's okay. Really, we structured the case study to try to guide you to these. And really the point is to just learn more, take what you know, and make the best judgment that you can. It's important to also note that later down the road, if you change your mind, that's okay too. At that point, you would just go through the exploration process again and see what you discover. The reality is that the vast majority of students in university do change their program choices at some point throughout their degree program, and some change their choices multiple times. And that's okay. So the program that you apply to and are admitted to does not have to be the program that you graduate from. And for sure, that process at any point, we're here to help you with that. So now that Sam has decided on 2 degree programs, the next step is to submit the online application through Apply Alberta. In review, this session was designed to help you learn the exploration process and apply it to a case study so you can work through the process for yourself. Remember, all the activities and resources are provided for you in the workbook. Choosing a major or degree program really is a big decision, but with some reflection, information gathering, and evaluation, you do have the ability to make the best choice that you can, because there are no wrong answers, because ultimately it is your university experience. And remember, you can access the workbook again in the chat in Zoom or from the Student Success Center booth in the exhibit hall, or in the resources tab on the main fair. So the degree application is now open and you are encouraged to apply as early as possible. But if you are still uncertain about your degree choices, feel free to connect with us for more help with your exploration process. You can book appointments to meet with us via Zoom by accessing the Student Success Center virtual front desk on our website, or by sending us an email at success@ucalgary.ca. And thanks so much to everyone for joining us today. Really hope you enjoy your open house experience today. Karen and I will stick around for a few more minutes. If anyone has further questions, you're welcome to use the chat and post questions there. And thanks again.